I got 5 minutes to try to explain why Rama is the better of the two combatants tonight. One thing that I'm going to bring up right now that I think is going to be important in this face-off is that he is a master of the lethal martial art of Penchak Salat. And I'm going to bring that up because, as Jack Reacher himself would say, details matter. But when we come down to it, Reacher is kind of just a Batman wannabe without the mask, the money, or the moral restriction on killing, right? Which is to say that he really is just a high-functioning sociopath who is more likely than not kind of comfortably sitting on the spectrum somewhere. And on the other side, we've got Rama, who is more like Wolverine, just this feral force of nature contained only by the mind and control of Rama himself. Let's get back to that Penchak Salat part of things, because whereas Rama is a master at that particular martial art, Reacher is a jack of all trades and a master of none. He's got a whole bunch of things that he can do fairly well, some better than others, but he isn't a master of any one martial art. As Bruce Lee points out, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once. I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Rama lives, works, and essentially survives in a corrupt, dangerous, and cannibalistic part of Jakarta, where as a cop, he faces people who are raised on violence. Where Reacher kind of pads his numbers with wife beaters, bouncers, bodyguards, rent-a-cops, and other weekend warrior tough guys. There are two types of guys you never want to face in a fight: the guy with nothing to lose, and the guy with everything to live for. And I'm going to try and show you that only one of our combatants fits one of those criteria. Again, because details matter. And in this diorama, with Reacher versus Rama, at the end of all the drama, Reacher's going to be calling for his mama.
A lot of the things that you hit on are things that I was going to hit on as well. And I want to focus on the sociopathic nature of Mr. Reacher and the obvious contrast between the person with everything to live for and the person with nothing to lose. Now, does Reacher just wander around the country on a bus looking for people to beat up? Sure. But he's also a really good detective, because if he can't figure out which bad guy he needs to beat up, he'll figure it out using his big brain. Whereas Rama will just get in a truck that's going to a place where they told nobody else on the entire police force where they would take in the truck. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. He was such a mastermind that he became a rookie on the force so that he could get in that truck so that he could go and save his brother and not save his brother. You had one job, Rama. Nobody told you to go in there and kill all those other guys. And I will say that if you could lift Reacher and you had to kill him, I would want you to shove his neck on the bottom of a broken door. Let me tell you about Jack Reacher for a minute. As was said, 6'5", 240-pound ex-Army major military bastard police officer. Just imagine if Bruce Wayne wasn't rich but still wanted to be bad. At one point, he has to fight 4 big dudes in a prison bathroom. Here's how that went. Headbutt, punch, punch, elbow, punch, push, clang head off metal sink, punch, punch, running clothesline, face kick, elbow, punch, clang different head off same metal sink, poke out eye with thumb, face kick, push 2 guys into a toilet stall, use one guy's head to hit the other guy, get punched twice while being held, kick the guy that punched him in the nads, elbows the guy, hold him in the face, break a dude's arm, chest kick, gets punched in the face again, carries dude across the room and smushes him against the wall, knees him in the gut, elbow, punch, punch, stomp on guy's ankle, breaking it horribly, punch, fight over. It took me longer to say it than it did for him to do it. So my super tough, super smart bastard cop has got to face Rama. Rama tops 5'6" and 140 pounds. I'm sorry, folks, the physics just don't work. In the beginning of the raid, Rama's trained in his apartment. He hits the heavy bag. He hits it more than 50 times in 10 seconds. I counted. For most people, that would mean 50 bruises and a long nap. But Reacher is not most people. Reacher is the heavy bag, unfazed by getting punched 50 times in 10 seconds. Rama is tough. And if he was walking to the left while a million guys came at him, like in the movie, he's going to whip their asses, just like in Kung Fu. But Jack Reacher is not in one of those million guys, because Reacher is in a different 1986 video game, a game called Rampage. So while Rama is going through the building, kicking guys, Reacher is climbing up the outside of the building, punching it until it falls down. And when Rama passes by a window, Jack will reach in and grab him, and Rama will be delicious.
I saw what you did there with the reaching in. That was very clever for some people, I guess. But what I need to point out here again, the size difference is one thing. Reacher isn't fighting the best of the best in anything that he's doing. What's he gonna do when he faces Rama, who is a master at penchaks a lot? Reacher has some tactical analysis going on, but again, he's got this psychopathic, sociopathic approach to life in general. So when he's faced with something that he can't control, I think that's going to short circuit his brain. That moment of hesitation is going to be enough for Rama to cut him down to size. Now, Jack Reacher is clearly way bigger than anything that you have ever seen in real life. And even Batman has taken some of his beatings. He got his back broken too. So I'm expecting some of that for Jack Reacher.
I want to go back to something, Jeff, that you said in the opening about Rama being like Wolverine, and I see it. The fact that he never stops moving is incredible, and the only problem with it is that his bones are just made of bones, and he doesn't have a healing factor. What happened at the end? Well, at the end in Margrave, all the bad guys got killed by Reacher, or they went to jail, and the good guys won. Now, what happened in the raid? Well, the cop let his brother not only stay being a crime boss, but actually made him a better crime boss. I'm just going to say shoddy police work. Because, and by the way, that guy at the beginning, he killed those people. He shot him and used it was like 7:30 in the morning. That makes it so much more sinister. He was doing that at breakfast. Anyway, Rama's a bad cop. Reacher won.
All right, so if we're going to talk about bad cops, Reacher kills people for no reason. All right, and for no reason other than what works in his head as to his interpretation of justice. Again, Jack Reacher is not fighting the best of the best out there. He's fighting wife beaters. He's fighting rent-a-cops. He's fighting bodyguards and bouncers, and he's taking them out with extreme prejudice. Is that wrong? Not in Reacher's world. Is that wrong in everybody else's world? Yeah, it's probably a little bit wrong because he's not all there. Now, Rama is a cop. He's got a good heart. He's got some moral compass in place. He's one of the few. And again, he's got something to live for. So he's gonna be the guy that's going to do it for all the right reasons and do it so that he can get back home to his family. But when it comes down to it, Jack Reacher is a little bit off his rocker, and Rama, with a cooler head, will find a way to prevail.